temperance movement was dedicated to reducing and eliminating alcohol consumption. Today, Pedro Rodriguez and Hera Katawazi will be discussing the temperance movement and groups critical to its progress.
Let's take a look at this movement from the perspective of women. Women understand firsthand what alcohol has done to their families. Drunk people make dumb decisions leading into poverty and domestic violence. Many women had no legal ability to divorce abusive relationships, so temperance became a path towards protecting families. Women could partake in public events where they could finally speak up and voice their concerns. Groups like the Women's Christian Temperance Union were formed, working not only to stop alcohol, but to also gain suffrage, legal rights, and safer homes. Literature in the era, such as Tiffany Shea Arthur's 1854 10 Nights in a Barroom, portrays how alcohol destroyed families, strengthening the support for women-led reform. That was very insightful. Now let's hear what Pedro has to say.
Is this the fault of the men, or is this the fault of the alcohol? Alcohol may result in both abuse of itself and others, but is it truly itself to blame? Alcohol, although may be easy to use as an outlet, it is still those weak men who are the ones to be blamed for their actions.
Interesting. Now let's look at temperance through the eyes of people with the money, the factory owners.
What is one of the key cornerstones of our economy? What builds the roads that factory owners travel on? What builds the canals that they float upon? Alcohol, the taxation of alcohol and manufacturing. Without it, how can we sustain an economy without no other means of gaining money?
Wow, I never thought about it. Let's hear what Hera has to say. Well, as much as factory owners in the North love making money, they aren't going to get any with a workforce that keeps showing up drunk to work. A sober workplace is a more productive one. With drunk workers, their minds will be impaired and will get seriously injured by large-scale machines. According to a 19th century industrial reports, 25% of workplace injuries were linked to intoxicated workers. Why don't they get a coffee break instead? Wow, I didn't know that the safety impact was so big. That is very interesting. Hera, how did the temperance movement influence religious perspectives? The American Temperance Society, inspired by a religious revival and formed during the Second Great Awakening, has been advocating for reduced alcohol consumption because they believe it caused sin, violence, crime, and poverty. They believe it was a source of moral and physical decay. So reducing or eliminating alcohol was a way to promote individual reform, uplift public morals, and protect the home and family.
Although yes, the intoxication of alcohol is prohibited within the Bible, it is still a crucial part of communion. Was Jesus himself turning water into wine? How is communion meant to be enacted if we cannot have a simple bottle of wine?
Let's hear what Pedro has to say about the movement from a native's point of view.
The new-founded influence of drinking cultures from Ireland and Germany has resulted in a moral decay of us as Americans. Due to the constant introduction of newfangled, stronger liquors with gregarious names, it has destroyed our culture as a whole, and this is the one key note that we agree with temperance.
Nativists use temperance to strengthen their political power. They claim that German and Irish immigrants coming in also brought in their heavy drinking habits, which were immoral and un-American. By promoting temperance, they saw it as a way to promote moral reform and reduce immigrant influence in workplaces, politics, and society. It is amazing to see how the temperance movement brought a lot of changes to society. Now let's move on to what Hera has to say about the long-term effects of the movement that has resulted in. Long-term, the movement set the stage for the 18th Amendment prohibition starting in the 1920s. It expanded women's roles in politics, strengthened reformed communities, and pushed America towards public health and workforce safety regulations.
Tell me, how can one truly regulate or control something once it is outlawed entirely? If we were to allow alcohol to be outlawed entirely, then there is no means to control it. No legal drinking age, no manufacturing standards, nothing akin to that. And there will be indefinitely a black market for that industry. But for smuggling, as well as manufacturing it, which in the end will harm everybody.
Now, speakers, what else must you mention before we conclude today? The temperance movement was more than just about stopping alcohol. It was about protecting families, improving the workplace safety, and advancing social justice, especially for women. It changed America for the better.
The temperance movement, without a doubt, will hinder America's progress, due to the simple fact that it will devastate our economy and devastate us all as a whole, as a people. It will devastate our economy by allowing an influx of cheap alcohol into the international market, making everybody not want to purchase us. We will no longer be able to tax anybody for alcohol at all. It will also allow for the illicit manufacture and distribution of that very same alcohol now. This will that will hurt us in the long term.
While both sides had good reasoning, overall the temperance movement linked moral and individual reforms to American ideas of virtue and self-control, helping shaping a national identity.